What are the best FPS games on Steam? You may be asking. Well, you have come to the right video. Today, I will tell you top 20 best of the best FPS games on Steam you can get. Before that, please do check out my merch. Do your little boy a big favor. You have no idea how much it would help. Anyways, let's move on to the list, shall we? Let's start with number 20. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon is a standalone expansion of Far Cry 3, meaning players do not need the original game to play it. Gameplay, though akin from Far Cry 3, using the same engine and general mechanics, is streamlined to provide a more linear experience. The skill tree, instead of chosen path down 3 ways of the animal, is replaced with a similar leveling system that automatically unlocks benefits. The crafting is removed completely.
Which, is never really a bad thing unless you're on the receiving end of its lasers. Hello. Goodbye. Yeah. Shot him with the bow.
Number 19. One More Dungeon. One More Dungeon is a first-person shooter, procedurally generated levels, and pixel art graphics. Being a nameless adventure seeker, you have to get to the final level of the dungeon and destroy the obelisks, which is being used by force of evil to evade the world, using a melee weapon, magic stuffs, and antique artifacts to brush the way through the hordes of enemies inhabiting a few game areas. Number 18. Singularity. Singularity is a first-person shooter with survival horror elements. A main gameplay device is an artifact known as the Time Manipulation Device, TMD. The TMD is powered by an E99 core and can manipulate time. If that wasn't obvious for some people, the TMD can move an object backwards or forward in time, attract something and hold it indefinitely, or send a pulse of energy that can stun or kill enemies. The TMD can only affect living beings or objects that have been in contact with E99. Some living beings, like the troops who are covered in heavy armor designed to repel E99, well, you guessed it can immune as well. Number 17. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Borderlands the pre-sequel is a video game developed by 2K Australia with cooperation from Gearbox Software. It was included alongside Borderlands 2 as part of the Borderlands The Handsome Collection on March 27th, 2015. Number 16. Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a post-apocalypse role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It is the 5th major installment in the Fallout series, 8th overall. The player is the solo survivor of Vault 111, who emerged 110 years of the day and time after the Great War. Prior to this is a brief period of gameplay during a pre-war era, showing the players living with their spouse and child. Number 15. PlayerUnknown Battleground. Battleground is a players versus players shooter game in which up to 100 players fight in a battle royale, a type of a large-scale last man standing deathmatch where players fight to remain the last alive. Players can enter the match solo or duel or with a small team up to 4 people. The last person or team alive wins the match. Number 14. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Similar to the previous games in the series, Infinite Warfare is the first-person shooter. As the game introduces a new setting, outer space, new gameplay mechanics such as zero-gravity environments are included. Players are equipped with a boost pack and a grappling hook, which allows players to move in those zero-gravity environments easily. As the game is set in space, players can definitely visit different planets, satellites, and even asteroids in the solar system.
Attempts ground below. We gotta move. Reaper, Scars are boots on the ground.
Copy, 1-1. Insert is a vertical drop north of your position.
Copy, on the move.
Number 13, Payday 2. Payday 2 is a cooperative first-person shooter action game developed by Overkill Software and the successor to Payday the Heist. Up to 4 players can cooperate in the heist. The base game features 12 heists. And heist. Yeah, I've been saying heist a lot, but hear me out. Some of which take place over multiple days and locations. Overkill has released new heists through free or paid DLC, bringing the total number of unique heist locations to over 30. So you'll never get bored with this game like for a long time. So yeah, why not consider this? You know what I'm saying? Number 12, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus is an action-adventure shooter game played from a first-person perspective. Yes guys, the whole list is a first-person perspective. Just be kind to me and hear me out. To progress through the story, players battle enemies throughout levels. The game utilizes a health system in which players' health is divided into several sections that regenerates. If an entire section is lost, players must use a health pack, to replenish the missing health. Number 11, Rising Storm. Rising Storm is a realistic first-person shooter. All of the core gameplay mechanics from the Raid Orchestra 2 are present, such as the cover system and bullet drop. Rising Storm brings a whole new arsenal of weapons that relate to the American and Japanese warfare used in the Pacific theaters, such as the M1 Garand and the Type 38 rifle. Gameplay has been described by Tripwire as asymmetrical, due to the Japanese having inferior weaponry to the Americans. To maintain historical accuracy,
Scout, report in.
Number 10, PlanetSide 2. PlanetSide 2 is a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter where players align with one of 3 unique empires, join thousands of simultaneous players in intense infantry, air, and ground vehicle gameplay. Nearly every weapon in PlanetSide, with few extensions, have access to at least one attachment. Attachment affects how a gun feels and handles in a variety of ways, such as adding an optic for easier aiming, or affecting muzzle velocity and damage fall-offs. Number 9, Ziggurat. Ziggurat is a first-person shooter. Yes, I know first-person, yes. Dungeon crawl video game with roguelike elements. Levels and encounters are procedurally generated and include bosses, trap rooms, spells, and treasures. During gameplay, extra weapons and packs can be unlocked and level up, and randomly generated content to add additional variety. Number 8, Prey. Prey is a first-person shooter with role-playing and stealth elements set in an open-world environment. The player takes the role of Morgan Yu, a human aboard a space station with numerous species of hostile aliens, known collectively as the Typons. The player is able to select certain attributes of Morgan, including gender and decision made by the player that affects elements of the game's story. Okay, so to survive, the player must collect and use weapons and resources aboard the station, obviously to fend up and defeat the Typon.
The glue cannon can also be used for traversal.
Number 7, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege is a first-person shooter game in which players utilize many different operators from the Rainbow team. Different operators have different nationalities, weapons, and gadgets. Players also have access to recruit operators who can choose from a more flexible assortment of equipments. You know, the expansion of having a unique gadget or the ability to customize their weapon. Players can pick any operators from any unit. Feel free. That is included in defending or attacking before the round starts. And you can choose spawn points and attachment in your guns. But you are not allowed to change once the game starts.
1 op 4 remaining.
Number 6. Superhot. Superhot sets the player in a minimalistic environment. You know, taking out hostile attackers that are trying to kill them. Weapons packed by the players have limited ammunition and break easily, requiring the players to rely on defeating enemies. You know, to attach new weapons or make melee kills. Taking a single hit from an enemy bullet kills the player, requiring them to restart the level. Number 5. Call of Duty World War II. Similar to its predecessor, Call of Duty World War II is a first-person shooter game. It removes the advanced system of movement present in the 2 previous Call of Duty titles, which includes double jump and wall running. Instead, it features a return of traditional movement to the series, taking it back to the original boots on the ground, which refers to a non-aerial ground combat gameplay style. The game features an ultimate sprint mechanic seen in the previous 2 titles.
Enemy spotted!
He's hit! Shit, he's dead!
Number 4. Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4 is a first-person action-adventure game. Players assume control of AJ Gale, a karate American who is in a quest to spread his deceased mother's ashes in the fictional country of Kyrat. AJ must utilize various short and long-range firearms, including pistols, revolvers, shotguns, assault rifles, submachine guns, bows, a flamethrower, rocket launcher, grenade launchers, and sniper rifles. Most powerful versions of these weapons become available after considerable progression through the game. Number 3. Wolfenstein The New Order. Wolfenstein The New Order is an action, adventure and first-person shooter video game played from a first-person perspective. Same like the Wolfenstein 2. The progression through the story, players fight enemies throughout the levels. The game utilizes a health system, in which health is divided into separate sections that regenerate. If an entire section is lost, players must use the health pack to replenish the missing health. Number 2. Insurgency, also known as INS or Insurgency 2, is the second installment in the Insurgency series, and it was developed and published by New World Interactive. It is a follow-up game of the award-winning source mod Insurgency Modern Infantry Combat. In February 2017, WWII confirmed that the game would no longer receive content updates, except for bug fixes, due to focusing on the development of Insurgency Sandstorm. Insurgency Sandstorm is also a nice game. Like, it came out 2018 and it's nice. And finally, number 1. Doom. According to the game's producer Martin Stutter, the key principle of Doom's single player mods are bad demons, big effing guns, and moving really fast. The game allows players to perform movements such as double jumps and ledge climbs throughout levels of industrial and corporate fields. You know, of the Union Aerospace Corporation, UAC. Yeah, UAC is a resource facilities on Mars. And then there is even levels to hell, as the combat system puts emphasis upon movements and speed. Yes guys, we have come to the end of this video. If you really like it, you know, why not consider hitting the subscribe button and the like button also. And yeah, I will see you guys next time on my next video. Yes, don't forget about my merch. Come on man, do me a favor, come on. And thanks for watching this far, really means a lot. Bye.